now watching News Channel 15 at 6.
Welcome back. We're going to head out now to the Unified Command Post on Highway 90.
That's where we find News Channel 15's Mola Lenghi. And Mola, what is the latest on what this fire is doing at this hour?
Well, guys, obviously the fire continues to rage. About 50% of it is said to be contained. Obviously, that also means that 50% of it is still burning. We are joined with Scott Hawkins of the South Carolina Forestry Commission here. Scott, what's the latest on the fire? What can you tell us?
Well, the latest is, like you said, we've got a more accurate acreage size, 20,600 acres, and that's significant. Also, 50% contained. We're expecting to upgrade that number in a briefing that's forthcoming in the next couple hours.
Do we have any sort of any locations, anything like that, where we have any hot spots?
Well, you know, all the houses along Highway 90 between the fire and that highway, we've been worried about since day one. We're also seeing some burn-overs in different areas where the fire is breaking our containment lines. So we can blame that a little bit on the breezes, I think. And that's the kind of thing you expect and you try to be ready for, but it definitely slows you down.
Conditions, are they better or worse than yesterday, or the same? What do we do?
They feel like they're worse right now. You know, we had very calm winds earlier today, and those winds have picked up. As compared to yesterday's weather, probably about the same. I'm not too certain about that.
That's sort of the biggest challenges that they're facing on the ground right now?
The biggest challenge right now is obviously the weather, you know, and the fire behavior. The wind is only one component. You know, you have the fuels themselves, and I've said this before, but the fuels in this part of South Carolina are just ready to burn.
Right. Okay. Scott, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. About 500 firefighters and personnel all working together from different counties, different municipalities, agencies from the state, all working together to continue to fight these fires. And as Scott just mentioned, they are going to have a briefing right now, and we will continue to update you on the latest information coming out of here. Tim, Allison.
All right, Mola, thank you very much. And those 500 men and women, more than 560, have worked nonstop since Wednesday now to bring this fire under control, and their work is still far from over.
News Channel 15's Graham Moore got a full access tour of the entire perimeter of the fire today. He spoke with the ones who risk it all and had them show us some of what's involved in fighting this massive fire.
Brush truck, tanker stays on 5.
This is where the orders come from.
Okay, the brush truck's coming with you.
And they're not battling fire, they come here to stage. That's firefighter talk for hang tight. And hanging tight isn't in these guys' blood.
For firemen, you know, we don't like things to go on, but we want to be there. We want to be in the action.
Brian Van Arnhem runs the show today. This week he's seen 2 sunrises, and he'll see his 3rd sunset tonight. How many hours of sleep have you had since Wednesday at 1?
2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
What's that like on your body?
I'm very tired right now.
Yeah. But caffeine and adrenaline help him direct, and once the orders come out,
okay, you got
it's time to head out. Places like here where hot spots light up parts of Long Bay Road, a crew from Somerville spots it and leaps to action. In addition to battling the main raging fire, firefighters still have to come around and do what they call mop-up, and this is putting out small little fires like under the stump so that the things don't reignite and get going all over again. In the same area, we find a man from the South Carolina Forestry Commission digging fire breaks. It's another tough job.
Well, if you like riding on a bulldozer for about 8 hours a day, you know, just imagine.
But it's a job that pays off.
Saved 6 mobile homes yesterday from burning up.
From the ground to the air, a scene that left us in awe. Black Hawk helicopter sucking water into Bambi buckets, water that will be dropped onto the fires below, and the scene will be repeated through the afternoon. Back at the command post, the cycle starts again. More orders, more hours of no sleep, but more of what these men live for.
It's the greatest job in the world. It's the hidden secret. It's the feeling. It's very hard to explain. It's in your blood.
All right, well, let's take a look now at some more video from Coquina Point out in Barefoot Resort. This was shot this afternoon as folks returned home for the first time.
Here you can see these homes damaged by the fire and those who were left to just sift through rubble today, trying to find what they could that might have survived the fire.
Again, many people have talked about the randomness of home damage. Another spared, and they might be right next to each other.
And thousands of people have had their questions answered about the fire by the county over the past 2 days.
That's right. I spent some time at the Emergency Operations Center in Horry County, where county staffers are manning phones around the clock. And officials tell me more than 5,200 people have called so far looking for information.
Basically, where's the fire at? What roads are blocked off? Is it accessible to certain areas of the county?
Are you able to answer those questions?
99.9% of the time.
You know, and one of the fantastic things about that story, Allison, is those people who are taking those phone calls, they work in all different departments in the county. Some of them work in the courts, some of them work, you know, in other departments, but they're all coming together to do this job for this fire.
Horry County has always shown, too, that in the past, even with hurricanes and everything else, that everybody is willing to come together in time of disaster, no matter what that disaster may be.
And hey, if you need their help, we do have a telephone number you can call. If you have any questions about the fire, where it's headed, or what you need to be doing, it's 843-915-5150.
The Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce is reaching out to the families who are affected by the fire.
The Chamber's teaming up with the American Red Cross and the Horry County Emergency Operations Center to serve as a liaison between people who have been displaced by the wildfire and those who have donated housing and other accommodations. Now, if you're one of those people, call for information at 626-7444. Again, that number is 626-7444. Well, still monitoring the weather conditions at this hour. Ed, does it seem to be working against the crews?
It still is at this point in time. The winds will come down again tonight, but come right back up tomorrow. And unfortunately, no rain in the forecast for the next 4 or 5 days. The 7-day forecast is next.